So a bit about me. Before starting proper this channel, I used to watch challenge videos from other creators. One of the most popular is the level 1 challenge, the challenge itself being well self-explanatory, beat the game only at level 1. I wanted to try this challenge for myself, but also do it on something that hadn't been done before. That's when I noticed that no one made an only level 1 run for Dark Messiah, the pinnacle of junk fun. So I decided to be the first one to tackle it, and oh boy, was that an experience. Let's do things in order. Greetings my spooky lads, this is the Italian Skeleton here, and today I'm going to answer the question, can you beat Dark Messiah of Might and Magic at level 1? Let's find out. There are two simple rules. Beat the game without spending skill points on any skill, and the run must be played on Hardcore, the hardest difficulty available. With that said, let's begin. The tutorial goes as usual, no big twists. My attacks deal very little damage, a theme that's going to be relevant for the entire run. I gain the first of many unused skill points. Once I reach the crystal, the prologue ends without shakeups. I am given the task of bringing the crystal to the Mage Menelag at the city of Stonehelm. In Saret's help, he gets assigned the Spirit Xana. I mean, you're a fine gun and all, but let's keep things professional. Jump cut to the city. While Saret talks with the guards, an attack from the Necromancer's army creates sudden chaos. He must run to safety. I shut the gate, saving the life of a guard that usually dies. After borrowing the sword from another guard, I am now tasked to take out the zombie Cyclops with a nearby ballista, who gets finished by the guards. Foreshadowing. Before moving out, I cremate one of the dead guards to give me an honorable Viking funeral. Cut into axe, but still. A shield! I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Once inside the city, I decide to explore a bit. I never enjoyed it calmly during my casual run. And I find the shield later out. Cool. I saw something shiny. I decide to try and take it. I use the barrel to make me reach an wing, make the jump and reach the shiny thing. Furthermore, I get a scroll. They are the savers of this run. Without them, it's possible I wouldn't have never be able to beat it. I try to find as many as possible in as many secret areas, one of which is nearby. A pair of knives! I can't use them. Down the gutter they go. I also witnessed the tutorial for the oil jars. Not very useful for the run, but a neat small game design detail. Eventually, I get bored and continue the storyline to meet Leanna.
Leanna, Menelag's niece and pupil.
Niece? Pupil?
Saret's get invited to dinner and spend the rest of the night at the manor. In the morning, he will participate in an expedition to retrieve the Skull of Shadows. But in the middle of the night, the manor gets attacked by the Necromancer's forces. They must be stopped. I'm trying to sleep! Entering the courtyard, I fought some soldiers, while avoiding those that I could. Finding the entrance to the basement allows me to enter the manor proper. I close the door behind me in trying to be clever, but again I remember it. Rude. Once surpassed the guards here, and found a secret room, I get to the ground floor. Before moving out, I must kill the soldiers defending the entrance hall. A wizard robe. I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Reach the library, I try to avoid enemies, but some clashes are inevitable. Found a key. It's used to open the room in the spire. The best strategy is to leg it, the slow way. Once on the roof, I open the door for the spire.
This is a nice, quiet place. Oh, too bad we have other things to do.
Oh yes, a good night of sleep would be nice, but there are intruders around. Reach another room, the floor is brittle. I use it to my advantage. The mercenaries fall constantly, breaking who knows many bones. One even just trips on its own. I have to reach Menelag's chamber. The crystal must be secured. But I'm too late. Menelag dies and a ghoul steals it. I have to chase it. I try to attack it, but it ignores my blows. Eventually, I reach it to a warehouse. Like the valiant hero I am, I dive in, bringing justice. Like the pathetic hero I am, I die immediately. Then I remember, isn't there supposed to be a secret entrance through the sewers? And sure enough, here it is. I mean, it's time to deal with those inside. Once they're all dead, I get back to the chase. Foreshadowing. A forge. I can make a longsword here. I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Passing through a secret tunnel, I eventually reach where the crystal has been brought. Now Arantir has it. I try to be a courageous crusader, end up dead. I try to be a sneaky assassin archer, end up dead. I do the way the game wants me to, freeing the prisoners to create a distraction and take the crystal and book it. It works like a charm. Another cutscene reveals parts of the truth. Xana is a demon. Once on the other hand, I meet up with Leanna. The ship that should have been used to transport the expedition to the island has been seized by the necromancers. I have to get it back. I eventually go for a direct attack and realize my lifelong dream of becoming a pincushion. Then I do like the game wants me to. Once inside, I must kill all the enemies present, using the environment and the old-fashioned way. Here I face for the first time actual necromancers. They can kill me in 3 shots. Fighting them head-on is useless. A barrel to the forehead does wonders for the migraines. You can't feel pain if you are knocked out cold. There are some goblins captive. Freeing them and making them do all the work is just up my alley. They're even all friendly. But I must press on. I find a Ring of Might, granting me a +1 damage. This is the most damage boost I'm going to get from here until almost the end. Offing more guards, I reach the bridge, where I have to battle the last ones. And to battle, I mean stand near a box to kick every single one into the waters. Once done, Leanna arrives with her guard. Now I must defend the ship while he makes the preparations for sailing. Good thing she can heal herself and me. Nothing much to say about the defense. I kick any mercenary coming into the waters, and bait any archer into a melee stance, so that I can keep them down. Apart from an execution done on the wounded staircase that broke one of the steps, everything goes smoothly.
Just wanted to thank you again and to tell you that you've become very important to me.
Oh, don't mention it, that's what friends are for. Once lifted the anchor, the level ends. While sleeping, Sight suffers a nightmare. Congratulations, it's a sword. Now to explore the Temple of the Spider, where the Skull of Shadows rests. The island is filled with orcs, traps and other dangers. I must keep my eyes peeled. Here I face the first real roadblock of the run. Before being allowed to enter the temple, I must fight a gauntlet of around 8 orcs. If I could take them slowly, it would be easy. But because Leanna has the eye of a bloodthirsty boar and the longevity of a crippled butterfly, she dies easily. And if she dies, I lose the game. You can see where this is going. I think I died like 10 times here. Half of them because of her death, half of them because of me dying while brawling and trying to kill the orcs as fast as possible before they kill her. Eventually I do win and manage to continue on. The path forward is blocked. I must find an alternative route and open the way for her. Down a hole, I face those small tentacled flying monsters. They can kill me in 2 hits. They are tough. Only a strike executed with the full adrenaline bar can kill them. I tried to change strategy with the staff, but it wasn't necessary. Slowly charge up the adrenaline bar and make 1 or 2 steps backward while avoiding their attacks was all I needed. I pick up the rope bow. It's a bow that can create an unlimited amount of climbable ropes, as long as the arrows hits a wooden surface. A poison bow. I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Once out, a Paokai, a deformed dragon, attacks our group. It's too strong to be faced. We must find cover. Despite being resistant to it, pushing the orcs into a fire and grilling them is an instant kill. After even more fights, I reach the entrance of the temple, opened by Duncan, one survivor of a previous expedition. Once inside the temple, I find the Ring of Health Regeneration. Not the strongest ring physically, but mentally. Having a safety net does lower the stress and allows me to focus more on the fights. After fending off against more guarding orcs, I must place the crystal at the heart of the temple to open the way for the skull. Here, I face off the goblins for the first time. Nasty little buggers. Even if they are way weaker than orcs, their small hitbox makes them hard to hit. A small wooden shield, the worst shield of the game, and I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Goblins aren't the sharpest sword in the armory, however. A trap! The rope bow has my back. As I was advancing steadily, the goblins close off the way. I can't continue. I have to go back to Leanna. She does know another way. As she's trying to open it, the Paokai attacks. I must kill it. Baiting it with an arrow makes it stick its head into an archway, where I can make the gates fall, killing it instantly.
Brilliant. You know, if it had been me, I would have thanked you properly.
You can give me cash later. Warning. Dog-sized spiders ahead. They like to hug the screen. I'll make a signal when they're over. Under the cave, the best way is to run. The spiders are too strong to face. In this dry duel, the best strategy is to bait them for a bit, then set up as many ropes as possible. Okay, I'm out. No more spiders. You can look up. I managed to reach the other side.
We can eat an orc. Yes, we can. They eat Zim, so me eat orc. Zim's stupid, ugly, and mean, but Zim my cousin. Now him turning on a spit. Orc eat goblin, goblin eat orc. Me already tasted orc. Not so bad. One day Greek give me both livers. He said they bring power and strength. Do you remember, Doc?
It's not a pair of livers, I think.
What? You mean it's not a pair of livers?
Orc only have one liver. I think you eat pair of something else.
Well, I could go for a pair of orc livers myself. I mean one liver. I have an iron deficiency, that's all. The goblins here gave me a run for my money. Their small stature mixed with their high numbers made me die 5 or so times. I can't even bait them properly. They are the only enemy capable of throwing infinite rocks at me. They deal very little damage, but with time they could grind me out. Luckily, there is a pool with a red light that regenerates health. I don't know why, but it sure does help. I had to fight away from the pool though. I don't know if the waters can heal them too. Taking them off the bridge is always a great and fun strategy. I found a treasure room. There are pressure traps all over, but the rope bow fixes all. I also find many scrolls and the staff of the Fire Lord, which I can't use. Down the gutter it goes, I guess. There is blood everywhere and a mauled corpse. This means it's safe. All the traps have already been sprung. It also means that the room was already plundered. Drat. Moving on. Optional objective. Kill the Cyclops. It can stay optional. Getting out of the temple, I reach a set of staircases with many orcs on patrol. Using the bodies of their fallen friends make them faint in shock. Good opportunity for a final blow. I find a makeshift ram. Using it opens the way to a hidden tomb and some treasures. A pair of Latin daggers. I can't use them. Down the gutter they go. I reach a critical point. I must cut the ropes of that bridge to make it fall, lest I get overwhelmed and die. After a couple of tries, I do manage to make it fall, even if that doesn't guarantee absolute victory. Mind your step, kids. I learned the hard way. Even the orcs did. I eventually reached the other side, on the upper levels. More orcs, more happy incidents. Happy for me. Did you know that stairs are the most instant-inducing object in a household? It's true, I think. As I'm scrutinizing a possible piece of armor, it floats a couple of levels down. Damn ghosts. And what's up with the music? It's needlessly creepy. Anyway, I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. I reach an incredibly unstable cabin, but there is a lot of good loot here. Using the rope bow to shift the weight to the ceiling instead of the floor makes it the recovering a safer endeavor. However, I am careless. I touch the ground and half of the cabin falls into the sea, but I survive. I reach the room for the control of the elevator. Activating it allows for the continuation of the quest. Another forge. I try to make a new sword. I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. I find a soul drinker. I can't use it either. Down the gutter it goes. To get down, I make a couple of ropes from a nearby tree. In hindsight, a good player could theoretically skip a decent portion of this level by placing a couple of ropes well. Eventually, I do find the elevator. Miss it, then take it properly. Exploring a bit, I find the Ring of Fire Resistance, granting me a resistance to fire attacks. Getting back on track, I reach the altar for the crystal and put it on it. Suddenly, I get surrounded by some orcs. Arachrock, their leader, says he'll let me go if I defeat him in a fair duel. Defeating him was surprisingly easy. Using the staff stun locks him and somehow he catches fire. Perhaps due to the source engine treating the beam of light from the crystal like a half-life laser. He must eclipse just enough to be hit by it. His orcs are willing to let me go, but my bloodlust must be sated. I fight them. I was on the winning hand. then the game crashed. I took that as some sort of divine sign to leave the orcs alone, so I just continued on my way. Bit more foreshadowing. I reach Leanna. She can now open the door. I must defend her while she does that. Ghouls arrive. They are surprisingly tough to deal with. Their health is too big, so they can be killed the normal way. They are also hard to kick. There isn't any high place where they can fall. I tried to use the staff to stunlock them and tickle them to death. Did not work. I fall inside a hole. There is raw magic energy flowing, killing me instantly. Perhaps I can kick them inside of it. But they don't fall. I try to bait them into the fire. They won't leave the room. I try to exploit their janky AI and kill them with the bow. The bow deals too little damage. I tried a mixed strategy, using the stuff to make them fall into the hole. It works for one, time for the other. And finally, it dies. Once passed through the door, Arantir arrives and kidnaps Lianna. I can't do anything to help her. I can only go forward. I reach the crypt below the temple. There are many zombies around. Finding them is pointless. They respawn infinitely. It's best to avoid them. Last bit of foreshadowing. To win, I must find 4 gems and put them inside a spider statue. One is nearby. Problem, there is a trap that explodes when I get near it. I find another soul drinker. I still can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. The winning strategy to get the gem ends up being to shoot an arrow to trigger the trap, then recover it. Once put the gem inside the statue, it shoots a laser that opens a door leading to the other 3. I must find a way forward. The low ground is dangerous. Staying on the high one is much more secure. The place is a maze. It's hard to find the right way, but a swift cut makes it all more clear. I'm inside a tomb chamber. There are ghouls. I can't win against them here. I must run. I try to plunder the tomb, but the trap stops me. Besides, more than likely I can't use whatever is inside. Eventually, I find the right way. Exploring, I find the sword of the dragon claw. I can't use it. Down the... Oh, I can drop it. Okay. The gem has been put on a high wall. Nothing that a couple of shots from the rope book can fix. The gem is mine. Time for the next one. Now I'm stuck inside a room. It took me a while to remember the way forward. I was so clueless that I thought I entered a combat arena and the only way to push forward was by killing zombies. Then I see it. To escape, I have to raise a gate. The first time doesn't work. Baiting the zombies and making a run for it did. I find a sarcophagus. I entered in a panic, but it turns out that was actually the way forward. I reached the second gem. To get it and escape, I must kill a lich. It's very strong. Not even 5 subsequent stabs to the stomach are enough to off it. Turns out, 2 fireball scrolls and a kick was all I needed. Moving on to the next area, the last gem is on the bottom of a chasm. It's easy to reach it. Next time you need to jump from a high place, just make sure there is enough water that can reach your ankle and you'll be alright. Getting it was a bit trickier. There is an exploding trap. I didn't manage to set it off with arrows this time. So I just approached the tomb from a different angle. That was all I needed to do. Taking the chains for the way up and reaching a door, it brings me to the starting area. Now I'm back at the spider statue.
Final gem, Sareth. It draws us together. Can you feel me in your blood like fire? Oh yes, my prince. We will be together. Forever.
That's one big green flag. No, I'm not colorblind. Why do you ask? I must prove that I'm worthy of the Skull of Shadows to its guardians. The proof of valor consists in defeating a bunch of spiders. Not much to say. Because of my little damage, the only winning strategy is to build up the stamina bar and unleash it once it's full against as many spiders as possible. I don't want to use scrolls against common enemies. They are too precious. They are only for bosses. Once they're all dead, I get the skull. A cutscene starts showing that Sareth is the Dark Messiah, prophesied to free the Demon King of Hell and bring the end times. Everything seems clear, but then Arantir comes and impales Sareth, killing him. However, Xana manages to save him from oblivion. While I am at a disadvantageous position, since the orcs have taken my whole inventory, I can now transform into a demon form. It deals very little damage, it's useless. The only thing I can do is to run until I find the backpack with my inventory. Once I find it, it's time for vengeance.
Felt naked without this.
There's nothing wrong with feeling naked, my dear.
In general, yeah. When surrounded by orcs with murderous intent, not so much. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires, and the personal kinds too. Beyond two guarding orcs, a cyclops rests in its lair. Fighting is pointless. He is too strong to be defeated. Even hiding and hitting constantly in the eye does nothing. The only proper strategy is to position ropes in the right places and escape. Once I find a reasonable road and make enough ropes, I climb up. I even find a secret, a Master Thief's armor, but I can't use it. Down to the ogre it goes. After more rope adventures, I find the spot. That was the climbing route to victory. And I arrive at the zone of a temple, into a goblin camp.
Throwing flashbang!
I fought a bit, but ultimately it was not necessary. The goblins spawn infinitely, so I freed an orc to distract them, while I went for the exit. All is quiet, then a giant worm tries to eat me. Fighting is pointless. Running from cover to cover is the only option. Once escaped, I reach a ruined well. The way to escape is to flood it and fight all the monsters that arrive. Thing is, at the time I didn't remember that that was the solution, so I raced back. And found a secret. Cool, but I was looking for the exit. Once I actually remembered how to do it, I pulled the lever. Now I am stuck. The monsters that arrive are too strong to be fought. A little quiz for you to do in the comments before giving the answer. Which of these three strategies do you think was the winning one? 1. Stop being a scrub and actually get good at fights. 2. Jump into the water to avoid all the attacks, outsmarting the monsters. 3. Getting on my knees and sucking on daddy's long tentacles for mercy. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to choose your answer. That's right, the answer is, of course, number 3. Well, kinda. I couldn't be asked to get good this late into the game, so number 1 is out. And the monsters electrify the water, killing me instantly, so number 2 is also out. Turns out crouching messes with their attack. They can't hurt me, most of the time, allowing me to build up the stamina bar for then kill them. All the way to the top. My arcane robe, I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. Another temple. This should be the last one before the exit. A bow of winter's breath. I can't use it. Down the gutter it goes. As is tradition, I kick the goblin throwing orc. I try to kill a patrolling orc by making a box destroy the wood support, but he is already away. It wasn't useless though. I use the chain that holds the box to reach a way that allows me to avoid a big fight. I actuate a trap, reach a safe spot, get hit anyway, survive, then the game says, lol, nah, and makes me die anyway. So I just avoid the trap as intended. Then I find a third soul drinker? These are supposed to be ultra rare weapons made by necromancers in a dark pact and I'm finding them everywhere. I was so mad that I closed the game and went to the Warhammer 40k wiki to chill out a bit. You know what I did find? Soul drinkers. I just couldn't escape it, man, I'm telling you. Finally though, I'm out. I'm free. Xana says that I shouldn't show my demonic face to the others. Oi lads, I'm a demon. Posh, in it. The screen just turns black. No cool unique dialogue or combat. Anyway, I just do what the game wants me to do. And now I'm off the island. Arantir has the Skull of Shadows. I must retrieve it. But first I must know where he is headed. And to do that I must infiltrate the necromancer's base and find his journal. With a barrel, because there's a necromancer nearby with no cliffs. Here I meet a new enemy, Knights. They're sturdy, fast and can kill me in one shot. It takes 4 hits through the chest to finish them for good. What the heck are these embalmed animals anyway? Getting past the library and the training room, I get an orb-shaped key to open some doors. A butcher chamber full of necromancers lays ahead. Fighting is useless. The only thing to do is run. Liana is still alive. I'm going to try and save her. I reach a prayer corridor. There are 5 necromancers to fight. I can't win against them. I must run. But there is a problem. The path forward is blocked by a gate that must be opened using the slow mechanism, making me a sitting duck for the enemies. Through trial and error, I found out that the best strategy is to bait the necromancers from the corridor I came in, then rush for the gate and the mechanism. It's time to save Leanna. Down the spider hole I go, to face off the Spider Queen. I am a bit tempted to hand her myself, but nah.
Kill that thing!
Okay, how? No matter what I used, it was not enough, and I was unwilling to waste my scrolls to a secondary boss. After 1 hour of frustration trying with the demonic form, continuous adrenaline attacks and fire arrows, I said, you know what, chick, you can save yourself. And I just left her there, to go to Arantir's chamber. Here, I read that he aims to sacrifice the souls of Stonehelm to imprison the Demon King forever. Sareth must now reach the necropolis and stop him. So I ran away from the base. Stonehelm is under siege, the streets are full of ghouls and the city is on fire. The ghouls are too strong. To survive, I had to exploit their dodgy pathfinding AI. After getting rid of more ghouls, I met up with Percy. He works on the maintenance of the aqueducts and knows a way that will bring me to the necropolis under the city. I must escort him while leading the way. An undead Cyclops blocks the way. I can't beat it, but I don't have to. I just need to find another route. A couple of ropes lead me to a nearby home. Once open the front door, Percy can pass without trouble. While descending some stairs, I make a slip, hit him, and I guess he no-clipped into the Half-Life 2 beta rooms. After reloading, he is fine, and we can continue on. A voice invites me to bathe in some holy waters to get rid of my personal inner demon. I go and do it. I get some weapons. I can't use any of them. I reload to get my personal demon back. She keeps me company. Progressing, I get attacked by the reanimated corpses of the villagers. This part freaked me out a bit. Until now, all the zombies were clearly in an advanced state of decomposition. People so old that everyone forgot about them. Seeing those who a few days before were just trying to live their own lives made me uneasy. It was cool. Anyway, I reunite with Percy. Now all I have to do is to raise the water level. Then I'll be able to enter the aqueducts from which I can reach the necropolis. After dealing with some undead forces and raise the water level, I'm on the other side. Then a Paukai shows up. I try to use a ballista, but it can kill me with one shot. Do I really have to fight it? I wonder. I open the doors for the necropolis and dive straight to it. And I do manage to reach it. I find Leanna. She believes that what I have is a monster and I must be killed for having it kept with me. Now, Leanna, darling, Xana may be a literal demon from hell and have a problem understanding personal space, or consent. I may have possessed my own body as an abusive tenant without my explicit permission. I may have tried to kill you. I may have lied, but more like admitted that true origins and it was undeniable, and constantly flattered my ego like a rifle to get to me, and cursed my mortal soul with powers that I can't even use because they're so weak. But... oh, you're dead. Anyway, I go down to Necropolis. I receive a plea of help from the Prince Istvan. He says that he is in pain and swore that if I free him, he shall speak to his father to aid me in my fight against Arantir. I still need to kill the Paukai. Here he is. To free him, I must unbind the 2 chains that block him. A frightening sight. The necromancers are T-posing to assert their dominance. I'm overwhelmed, but I must press on. I remove the 2 blocks. Time for my reward. Getting down, I get exactly that. I shall receive the help from a friendly leech later on. Oh, great, a Cyclops. I hope to stun him in nothing for good. And I succeed for once. Now I enter a series of chambers. This was the hardest fight before the actual final one. There are knights running around like maniacs, and they only need to hit me once to kill me. I think I died 20-30 times here. I became very numb and frustrated. To the point that when I actually succeeded and ran away, I didn't feel good or accomplished. I just sighed and hoped that this challenge would finish fast. I couldn't take it anymore. I encountered the friendly leech. It will fight at my side. This fight felt pathetic. It took me several attempts in the room before. Here I finished first try. I'm not even going to comment, just watch the raw footage.
My heirs as slaves. The great peace shall soon be yours. The great peace shall soon be yours. We'll find you and kill you. It is a for you, Exodus. Show him the you've given me a challenge. Prepare yourself for ultimate absolution. The great peace shall soon be over.
Pretty disappointing, huh? For the next part, I just climbed down the chains to avoid all the enemies, sneaking by without anyone noticing. And then I reached the final area. That was it. There are 3 enemies: Arantir, a Necromancer, and a Knight. They all die, I win the game. I try to assassinate Arantir from a distance, but it's not enough. Once I get rid of the 2 goons, it's only me and him. Arantir monologues, then it's time to fight, and he kills me in one shot. I have to prepare myself. I try to freeze him, but he's immune. For the next attempt, I put myself at full health and wear the Ring of Fire Protection. Health regeneration won't help me here. The fire protection makes me only take 10-11 damage from the fireballs. I can still get one shot if he attacks me in melee, so I have to keep my distance. The fight isn't particularly hard, just time consuming. I only do 2 damage with my sword. Although using the scrolls should make it faster, I'm going to use every single offensive scroll I have gathered until this point. Fireballs, bolts, fire traps, this is why I hoard consumables. Once they run out, I use the Necromancer's hook to attack. It can defend, but it deals 1 damage more than the sword, granting me a 15% boost in damage. The fight is tense, I sleep and I have to repeat this whole sequence again. Eventually, I do manage to reach the second phase, in which Arantir summons an undead dragon, who can kill me in one shot. Oh dear, I don't know how to deal with it. Arrows do pathetic damage, and Arantir can't be hurt as long as the dragon lives. I try a slow and boring strategy. Flaming arrows deal extra damage and stun it. With this I can try and kill it. It takes me several minutes of mind-numbing back and forth until the dragon dies, but the fight isn't over. Arantir must be killed, otherwise he just summons another one. Meaning that I must stay nearby Arantir when the dragon dies. Okay, new strategy. Stunlock the dragon with flaming arrows, then attack Arantir. It's very risky. One miss and it kills me instantly. Let me tell you, this was not fun. That was constant. I think I died 40 times here alone. It was really discouraging. Eventually, I do manage to find a loop and off it. I go for Arantir and deal some damage, but he is still standing. I need to do this for a second time. Second barrage and... Arantir dies! Finally! I still need to kill the Paukai though. With 80 unused skill points, I can say for sure that it is indeed possible to beat Dark Messiah at level 1. Completely done with this world and its inhabitants, I go to free the Demon King. Xana tries to convince me otherwise. Is this what I really want? Perhaps I could just seek my own path. 2 souls bound in a holy communion against the whole world above and below. Nah, let's blow it all up. As the Demon King gets freed, columns of fire get unleashed and I make a sigh of relief, knowing that this world will burn, paying for all the frustration it caused me. Ugh, this was a doozy. The other alliance on the kick made me afraid that this run wouldn't be interesting, but when things got blocked, I had to get smart. If you have any intention of tackling this run, take yourself an extra day off to cool yourself. It's not pretty going to sleep with the acid of frustration in the stomach. Thanks for watching my spooky lads. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and do all that good jazz. See you next time.